Hi guys, welcome to another Blender tutorial. If you are a new subscriber, I upload everyday video, 100 subscribers. Today we're gonna finish our shading, procedural mountains, whatever. I'm gonna show you the nodes, okay, that I built. A lot of nodes. I'm sorry that I record this late, but I watched Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial, so it's very addictive. Okay, so last I think I show you the roughness nodes. Right here we build this roughness node on our second principal BSDF. I'm sick, I'm sorry guys. I don't think it's COVID, but whatever. So today I'm gonna show you right here the normal map, okay, the nodes, what I use basically. A lot of nodes, as you can see. Holy fuck. So on the second principal BSDF, you wanna just search for the bump node and connect bump to the normal on this principal BSDF. Yes, this second principal BSDF, because we're gonna use basically snow shader and rock shader, and this is the rock shader. Now bump node, you just add mud node, okay, and leave add, and you wanna add color ramp, and you have right here this black dot at the 0 and this white dot 0.25, something like this. Yes, keep this very loose, but you can of course control shift and left click on the render view what the nodes basically do. This is to create bump node, like I said, normal map to our rock shader, if that makes sense, so the mountains looks good. So once again, 0 black dot and 0.25 white dot. Now you want to connect Voronoi texture, scale N1, and you want to change distance to edge, okay, from F1. So Voronoi texture, distance to edge, connect this to the factor, scale 1. Now you want to connect, of course, to the color ramp. This goes Voronoi texture. You want to connect mix RGB and factor 0.115, okay, right here the value on the factor, and this goes to the vector on our Voronoi texture, and we basically mix in our mapping node that we add in the previous tutorial. So you wanna just connect mapping to the first color and noise texture factor to the second color, and noise texture I have this value, so I don't change, I nothing changed right here, as you can see. So once again, mapping goes to the first color, noise texture goes to the second color on this mix RGB, and of course noise texture goes to our mapping, this above mapping, and textures coordinate right here. It's okay, it's like small plus right here, textures coordinate, and this mapping of course that we built in the previous tutorial goes to this above mapping too and to the textures coordinate. So you just selecting those nodes. This is our normal map to our rock color. Select those nodes, Control J, and create this box to have organized this stuff. Yeah, so there's that. We have our roughness, and this is our normal map. Now basically you wanna just mix those two shaders, principal BSDF, together. So you just mix in snow texture and you just mix in rock texture that we start and create roughness and normal map. And on this rock texture I use this kind of color. I have 1, 0.1, 0.1 and 0.5. You can choose whatever color you want to your rock, but on the principal BSDF that you connect this normal map that I mentioned like 5 minutes 5 seconds ago, just change the color to have darker color on the rocks, and this goes to mix shader. So this goes to the first shader, and this snow texture that we built in the previous tutorials goes to the second. Now I'm gonna show you the tree on the factor, because this is very important, because if you're gonna just blend those together it's gonna be mess. So I'm gonna show you on the factor to basically have some of the rock shader on the mountains and a little bit snow, okay, on this factor to this mix shader right here. So I'm gonna show you right here. Basically, you just starting to add math node and just select clamp and choose add right here. So don't change, just math node and just select clamp, and you just add color ramp. Color ramp goes to the math right here, and I have value on this black dot something like, so you just flip this. Okay, this is black and this is white. As you can see, I have value like 0.2 and right here 0.07, but you can change the value. Like I said, you can see what the node's doing. We just placing our textures on this mountain. Okay, this is the nodes. So I have once again 0.2, 0.07 or whatever. This goes to the first color, and I have another color ramp. This goes to the second color on this math node, because we just mixing those together. And I have value 0.7 and white dot 0.8, as you can see. So I make this very contrasty, this map. Okay, so I use color ramp to make those more contrasty stuff. And basically what we just added, this is very cool trick. Okay, I just add different kind of shade to this, but it's a very cool trick. You just add normal, search for the normal and textures coordinate. You just connecting textures coordinate from normal to the normal, and this dot goes to this color ramp to make this more contrasty. So this is basically normal map from textures coordinate that the mountain is, if that makes sense. So this helps us to place the textures. Okay, textures coordinate normal to make normal map, and this goes to the color ramp to make this sharper, if that makes sense. Yes, more contrasty, and this goes to the math node. So this is one way to mix this, to place the textures, and this is another way. So we just mixing those two maps together to place up the rock texture and down the snow, if that makes sense. I hope you get it what I mean. So I just add ambient occlusion. Okay, and select only local, and on the distance tap 4. Okay, and this goes to this first color ramp. Yes, that goes to the math node, and this color goes to the factor. So once again, only local, distance 4 on the ambient occlusion, and you just connect this. This is extra shit. Okay, to add more detail, I'm just connecting bump goes to the normal, because we have right here the dot normal, so we can plug some normal map. So I just add some normal map to make this more complicated. So I just search for the bump, and normal goes to normal. I just use once again math node, and math node goes to this bump to the height to multiply. So I just use two noise textures and make it more contrasty. As you can see, I'm gonna show you. I just add color ramp, and I have something like this, value 0.6 and 1. Play around on these color ramps to see the result. Okay, and I have another color ramp 0.6, 0.8, I think, something like this. Yes, and this goes basically from color to color. Right here should be color, I think. I do this tutorial and I don't know. Yes, it should be from color. So this goes color ramp to this math node that we multiply those. Okay, two color ramps. Just duplicate color ramps, shift A and color ramp. Of course, you can search those nodes, you know that. And I just add noise texture, scale 0.2, and on the distortion I have 0.5. This goes to the first color ramp, factor to factor, and second noise texture I have scale 10. I'm sorry, scale 10, and on the distortion I have 0.5, and I leave the detail and whatever like that. And this goes once again to the second color ramp to make it more contrasty, and I mix in those two noises and add multiply multiply those two noises and add to this ambient inclusion to add more extra stuff. And I just connect all this stuff, this noise textures to this mapping node. Okay, so connect the textures coordinate and mapping to those two noises, and you just connecting, just select those nodes like I did. Okay, with this ambient inclusion and this right here normal and color ramps to make it more sharper, contrasting, and this math node, and this goes, all this shit goes to the factor. So this controlling basically our placement on our two textures that we built. Okay, so this is very cool way to place your textures, if that makes sense. So I hope you get it how this works. This is the factor for our rock shader and our snow shader that we built in the previous tutorials. I hope you get it what I mean. And you can play around on those stuff. You can create shader from this. Okay, just, you know, select all the nodes or whatever and control G and just plug, connect whatever value you want to change the setup of this landscape, and you have pretty good textures, if that makes sense. Yes, placement of the textures too. So this is for the placement of the textures. This goes to the right here. We add in, once again I'm gonna show you, this is simple, looks complicated but it's simple. Mix shader, and we create a rack right here, this darker color and normal map that I show you, and roughness on the previous tutorial map. This goes to the first shader. Snow shader, this goes to the second plug on the mix shader. And factor, this goes to this ambient inclusion. To make more sharper, I add color ramps and I add extra noise textures, and I explain those nodes. I give you the values, but I explain now how I created this. And this is the placement of those two textures. Okay, I hope you get it, what is going on. That's it, guys. I'm gonna show you some photos maybe on the fucking, because I don't want to edit this stuff, to be honest, because rendering takes forever in my PC. So I'm gonna add maybe on the on this tutorial some image how it looks, and you can play around on those values. Okay, you can make the rocks darker or whatever. You can plug your textures and, you know, use the displacement and use those nodes, this normal and textures coordinate and this ambient inclusion, and play around on those settings to have placed those two textures together, whatever textures you want. But this is pretty cool idea how to create this stuff. This is a little bit complicated, but if you're gonna follow those steps, it's gonna look pretty nice. And yeah, I wanna show you that you can do this. Once again, the factor is that the placement of the textures, and you just add rock texture that we created in the previous tutorial, and we finished normal map in this tutorial, and snow texture, and you just play around on those settings, on this factor, on this stuff. And in the previous tutorial we built displacement map, okay, to look this good. Create some rocks, create some mountains. Thank you for watching mountains. Fuck my English. I'm sick, guys. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry that took me forever to record this, but I watched Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial, so sorry, but I'm back. Okay, I'm gonna record more tutorials on this channel. Thank you for watching, guys. Follow those steps. Okay, see you on the next one.